And we're recording. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Gillian, and based on the title, you can probably already tell that this video is a video I never thought I would make on my YouTube channel. Yes, guys. Yes, I got a boyfriend. I had a boyfriend. Keyword had. It's complicated, okay? But let's get into it. This is another episode of Wong Conversation. So 3, 2, 1. Woo. Okay. Before I start this video, I just want to say I'm not trying to get attention. My hopes for this video is that someone else out there in this world who watched this video would just know that you're not alone, that breakups are real, heartache is real, relationship problems are real, and that if you can confide in my story, if you can find hope and encouragement, that is what I want to help people with, that to know you're not alone, and that if I can do it, you can do it too. So, context to this story. All my life, I've never had a boyfriend. I'm 24 years old. Yes, never had a boyfriend. I've had many crushes. In high school, in college, I would like a boy, they won't like me back. I would text a boy, they won't text me back. I would be ghosted, life would be difficult, I would cry, I would move on. That was my life up to this year. I have always had really bad luck with boys just because I have the tendency to put boys on a pedestal, and I would make them to be like my God. Like I needed validation from them and approval from them, and the expectation that I put on these guys, they could never measure up, and so either I would end in disappointment or they would end in just like this huge pressure, and so they would walk away. So needless to say, when Jesus entered my life, like that changed the ball. When Jesus entered my life, I dedicated my life back to him, and I said, God, I want to not date around. I want to find like the right one that you have for me. So for the 3 years that I've been a Christian, that was my main goal, to stay single in my season of singleness, to be dedicated to God, and to not just, like ponder about, oh, this guy. Of course, I'm human. I still live in my flesh. I still had crushes, but I was very determined in staying single because I knew God wanted me to be single in this season of my life. Until I met a boy. Isn't it how it always goes? Okay, this boy shall name nameless because he actually watches my videos, and he's actually a #1 Wong fan. So he's probably watching this video. So if you're watching this video, hello. I hate talking about relationships. Okay, for the sake of this video, we're gonna name him Turtle. So Turtle and I were friends for a while, and we started to talk a lot, and we realized we had a lot in common, so we started to hang out, go to coffee shop, and slowly but surely our relationship progressed to become a relationship. And I'm not going to get too much into our story because I do want that can be a whole separate video of how God used that and kind of brought him to Christ, and now he's a Christian. He wasn't a Christian now, and so our relationship is very complicated. I want to focus on the main purpose of this video. And if you're wondering why I'm not crying, it's because, honestly, it's because of God. I've had my fair share of crying. Maybe at this point I'm just so burnt out from crying, but like I've cried, guys. I have cried many nights. You know what? Breakups are hard because we were made to love, and we want love. And when we find that, in someone else, it's the most beautiful thing. But because we live in a broken world, because we live in a fallen world, bad things happen. Things don't always go our way. Things happen, and sometimes you can fight it. Like, I've always believed, like, if you love someone enough, then you would fight for your love. But yes, that is true to an extent. But for me and my dedication to God, I just knew that this wasn't the right time for me to be in a relationship. And so for me to have to end this relationship took everything in me. He is everything I want in a future husband. He's everything I've dreamed about, prayed about. He is perfect. And I know nobody's perfect, but you don't want to find someone that, perfects you. You want to find someone that complements you. And so the saying is so true that two halves can come together to make one. You two need to be one whole person before you come together. And you know, I thought that I was a whole person before I met him, but when you get into a relationship, you learn a lot about yourself. You learn about your flaws, you learn about what you lack, what your weaknesses are, and how selfish you actually are. And in the month that I was in a relationship, I've learned more about myself than I ever have in my entire life of being single. And all I can say is that it is so worth it. Relationships are worth it. It's worth fighting for. I have to sacrifice what I love in hopes of something greater coming together in the future. So I know I'm talking very vaguely right now because I'm trying not to give away too much details in, you know, respect to the privacy of our relationship. But I just want you to know that, you know, I was in pain, and I still am in pain, and I'm processing through a lot of my emotions, you know, because breakups are hard. You feel as if like your heart just sank, and there's nights where you can't sleep. There's nights where you think of the memories that you guys had, and that one song plays, and you're like, that is a song that we used to listen to, you know, and it's difficult, guys. It's difficult because, like I said, we're meant to love people. We're meant to be in relationships. And when a relationship is torn apart or when it's broken, that can be so real of a pain. It's almost as if like it's physical pain. Like, yes, it's emotional pain, but it's almost as close to physical pain because of how raw and how rare and just painful it is. So if you are someone out there who's been through a breakup, you know what I'm talking about. If you're someone out there who's going through a breakup or is about to break up, like, I can't believe I'm saying this myself, but there's hope. There's hope that you may feel something is falling apart, but you have to trust that it is actually falling into place. Like, God cares about you so much to not let your life just go into shambles, but He is constructing and building a life that is far greater than anything you can ever imagine. And for me to say this for myself, when everything in my life is falling apart, is absurd, but I have to believe that my God is greater. I have to believe that, yes, this may look like it's falling apart, but in the future, it's falling into place. Steve Jobs has a great quote. He says, looking forward, you can't connect the dots, but looking backwards, all the dots somehow connects. To wrap up this video, those were, yes, it was only a month, but it were beautiful months of beautiful weeks of really like just joy. Like, guys, love is so beautiful, and when you find someone that you can share your life with, like, boy, that is a treasure, you know. And I'm lucky enough to have had that experience in my life. And right now, I'm in a place in my life right now where I know what I have to do. I know what I need to work on with myself so that my future can be prosperous, so that my future, that I can have a thriving relationship. I know that I must sacrifice my pleasure right now for something greater in the future. Love isn't about what I can get. Love is what I can do. And if I want to be a good girlfriend, if I want to be a good wife, a good mother, then I must be willing to sacrifice my own desires now so that I can have faith and hope for my future, that somehow God makes all things work for good for those who love Him. Yeah, so that wraps up the video. So yeah, I have hope. I have hope for my future. I have hope for my relationship. You know, it really is about dying to yourself for a greater purpose. And I wholeheartedly believe in that. And I hope and pray so much that we will come back together. And yeah, if we do come back together, I would love for you guys to meet him. He is a treasure in my life. He's so cute. I love him. Yeah. All right. That is the video. See you guys later. Hold on tight a little longer. Work on Gillian, make it stronger.